Hi, Phillips Creek Ranch artist, Miss Seiberling here with another art project. We're gonna do a corner origami bookmark this week. You get to make it an animal. I'm gonna show you how to make a bunny, but you can make really any animal that your imagination can come up with. The supplies that you'll need for this bookmark are some printer paper, just plain white paper, or if you would like for the face of your animal to be a color while the mouth will stay white, then you can either take printer paper and color one side and leave the other side white. And the way that I did this is I just took a crayon where I took the wrapper off, and then I just kind of went over and over and over it like this to get this nice blue color. So that's a way to get one side colored and one side white. If you have a scrap paper stash like I do, go grab some pieces of scrap paper. The nice thing about scrapbooking paper is one side has a pattern or a color and the other side is already white, and it's nice and thin, so it's easy to fold. So if you or your mom or somebody in your family has kind of a stash of scrapbooking paper, go grab a couple sheets. It doesn't really matter what size as long as we can cut it into a square. All right, the other things that you're gonna need are a glue stick and some scissors, and then just some extra paper. If you have some scrapbook, scraps like this, or crayons or markers to color in other paper that you have. If you have Google Eyes were great for the eyes, but you can always, like this frog here, you can always make your own eyes. You can see on my bunny, I used Google Eyes because I'm an art teacher, so I have a stash of Google Eyes. All right, so go grab your supplies and let's get ready and get going. So I'm gonna start with my paper that I colored one side and the other side is white. This is just a regular piece of paper that I would put through my printer, just a regular piece of white paper. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this paper. I'm gonna make a triangle like this, and I'm gonna line up this edge and crease that down. So I have a triangle. Now this will, when I open it up, this will make a square. So I'm just gonna cut this straight part off right here. So I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna trim this piece off. And this will work with any paper as long as you fold that triangle straight. Now I'm gonna open that back up and you can see that I have a square. All right, I'm gonna fold that back over one more time and make sure my crease is pressed down really nicely. I'm gonna open that back up and I'm gonna fold it the opposite way. I'm gonna make a triangle the opposite way. And there I have a nice crease as well. So when I open my paper back up, you can see I have an X. I've made an X with my folds. Now, if I want the color to be the top part of my bookmark, like the face of my animal, I'm gonna turn my paper over. I'm gonna put the color down, okay? Now I'm gonna fold my paper, I'm gonna make my paper like a diamond, and I'm going to fold my paper in half like this. Then I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to fold it up to the straight edge right here, okay? So all that I did was fold this little flap up like this. Now, I'm gonna take this corner and I'm gonna bring it right here to where that point is at the bottom. Also, another way to think of it is keeping this line straight. I'm just gonna fold on that line, just fold that line in half. And then I'm going to make a nice crease there. So I'm gonna take this corner, I'm gonna bring it into that bottom point so that I folded that line in half, and I'm gonna crease. So now it looks kind of like an envelope, but I'm gonna open these back up. Now this is probably the most complicated part right here. I'm gonna take this point and I'm gonna bring it up to here. So I'm just gonna fold it right here where this diagonal is. I'm gonna fold this in and bring that point up to the top and make a nice crease right here. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna make this straight line match this straight line. So I'm just gonna fold this over, bring the point to the top, match these lines, and crease. So now I made a smaller triangle. I'm gonna open these back up. Okay, now where this crease is, I'm gonna tuck this piece of paper behind this fold. So I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna tuck this paper under. And then I'm just gonna crease that and make sure that's nice and flat. Same thing here, I'm gonna fold it over and I'm gonna take this flap and fold it under like this. Just make sure it's nice and flat under there. And there we go. All right, so I folded those under and now I have my corner bookmark. So this will be the face of my animal and this will be the mouth. So now all I have to do is get creative. What kind of animal do I want this to be? I think I'm gonna make this be a rabbit. So I'm gonna take another piece of paper that I already colored blue to match, okay? And I'm gonna fold that paper in half. And I'm gonna cut out some bunny ears. So there's an ear and there's an ear. Now maybe, oh, that's kind of straight. I wanna curve that around a little more. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. You just make your ears however you want. You don't need a pattern. Okay, so there's my bunny ears. Now I want a little white inside to those ears. So I'm gonna take another piece of my scrap paper. This one I'm gonna fold in half this way. I like to fold my paper in half so that I get two pieces out of one cut. I only have to cut one time. All right, and then I'll glue those on there. That looks pretty good for the inside of my ears. Actually, they're a little big. I think I'm gonna trim them down a little. I'm gonna put them back together. Oh, there goes my doggies. All right, I'll put those on there. That looks pretty good. Now I have to think about my bunny eyes. So I can either cut eyes or I can use Google eyes. So if you have googly eyes, you're just going to glue those right on. I'm gonna show you how I like to cut eyes. I'm gonna take a piece of paper and fold it in half. And then I'm gonna cut it into a square-ish. Okay, and then I'm gonna take that square and I'm just gonna round off those corners. And by rounding off those corners, I'm gonna get a pretty good oval or circle. And then I can still kind of trim that out a little bit. I think I want them a little smaller. They don't have to be perfect, but there's my bunny eyes. Now I'm going to take a black Sharpie, but you could use any color you want. I'm just gonna put a little circle in the middle of my bunny eyes. And you can always add eyelashes, you can add a bow, whatever you would like.